Hi, I'm Hannah. Welcome to my channel, Mostly Paper Crafts, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the Crop and Create Delivered September event for 2024. We just wrapped up 4 days of card making. It was spectacular, and I want to show you a little bit about what the event is like, all the stuff that we got, some of the stuff that I made, and give you an idea in case maybe you want to sign up for one of these events next year. They are doing 2 card making events next year, one in March and the other one at the end of September, beginning of October. When you sign up for one of these events, you receive one of these beautiful spiral bound books that has all of the instructions for all of the classes. It has photos of all the cards they're going to make, places to take notes. And this is my 4th time doing one of these events, so I have 4 of these books now, and they're just loaded with inspiration. Now, there were 16 full-length classes. You can see all of those here. There were also a couple of mini classes, and that's a lot of instruction. That's a lot of product. Besides the 16 2-hour classes, there was also homework to do. So at the beginning of each section, you'll see things that you needed to do ahead of time to prep for the class. You can see I made notes in here about the substitutions that I was going to make, and I checked off things as I got them done. But in order to be able to create the beautiful cards that we did during class, live during class, there is homework to do. And I would say it took me maybe 8 to 10 hours to do all of the homework for all of these classes this year. Not too bad. It was definitely worth it. All of the supplies that you get for this event come in a big, beautiful box, and they're all kitted by company. But what I have done is I have unkitted my products. I've already used everything for all of the classes, and I'm going to next move all of the things into the various storage containers that I have for future use. And so you're going to get to see them all out of their kits and grouped by like item. So the first thing I'm going to show you is the stencils. This stencil is from Concord and 9th. Lots of uses here. They actually gave us 2 stencils, but the other one coordinated with the stamps and dies. So that one will stay with that product, but this one can be used on its own. We've got leaves from Brutus Monroe, an awesome oval masking stencil from Gina K. These stencils are from Honeybee, and there's lots of really neat patterns that you could use in a variety of ways. This one is from Picket Fence Studio. A string of lights from Lawn Fawn, and it's kind of hard to see these in here, but if you look at the cards that I made, there's the string with the lights, and then there's also some garland and some little sparkles on there. There are several layers to that, 3 layers. This is my favorite things. 2-piece layering stencil from Ranger. A starburst from Tailored Expressions. Really neat circular design from Hero Arts. A huge butterfly stencil from Crafter's Companion, and stencils from Tailored Expressions with their coordinating dies. So I did keep these together, but this goes in the stencil pile because it is mostly about the stencils. And you can see what these ones make if you look at their little samples here. So lots of stencils in the box. Next, we're moving on to the stamps. Now, this is a background stamp from Gina K, but I actually cut it into 4 separate stamps so I can use these individually. I can also push them back together if I want to use it as one big stamp, but having it as 4 pieces really makes it very versatile. From Simon Hurley, we got this party confetti. This can be repeated over and over. You can also rotate it to vary the design. This makes a great background as well. And then we got some sentiment stamps. So a couple of small sets here. We've got one from Spellbinders, one from Honeybee. This one is from Crafter's Companion. So many sentiments, you can already see them piling up here. This is from My Favorite Things. LDRS. And the next one isn't just sentiments, so it's going to lead us into our next little grouping, but this is from Gina K. And we've got some florals and some beautiful sentiments there, as well as the coordinating dies for the smaller images in the set. Continuing on with the stamps, a bunch of sentiments and some butterflies and flowers from Pink and Main. Love the sentiment strips in here. We've got a floral from Altenew. We have a couple of leaf sets. This one is from Hero Arts. The coordinating dies are included here, and I love that we have the solid and the outline. And then from Brutus Monroe, mine's kind of a mess. It's well loved already. These skeleton leaves are gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Love that there's 2 different leaf sets in here, especially because fall is coming and I have a lot of fall cards to make. Next up are the critters. So these lawn fawn mice are so cute. Coordinating dies, of course. Penguins from Ranger, Simon Hurley. And we do get coordinating dies for these and their sentiments as well. From scrapbook.com. These little woodland critters are just, oh my gosh, they're so cute. So the stamps are in here, the coordinating dies are in here, but they're also dies where you can create the animals without the stamp. So these are all die cut, or you can use the outer dies to cut out the stamped images. Brilliant, love that. From Picket Fence, we've got artist Annie, I think that's her name. So a cute little girl who has a paintbrush and an easel, coordinating dies for that as well. And a few more stamps with dies. These are from the Stamps of Life, and this set is really quite versatile, but we've got a couple of sentiments here, including Made Just For You by, so you can stamp that on the back of your card. We've got some florals. This dotted frame is separate from the sentiment inside. And the die set that goes with this creates a pop-up card, a stand-up card. And what's really, really great is, so we've got dies to cut out all those flowers as well as shadows. We've got Spring Day with the shadows. And then if you look at this one here, this outer die can cut out this stamp, and then you can stamp whatever you want on the inside here, or you could just leave it plain, or you could put a die cut in there, but then you could use it with this stand-up die set and really customize it any way that you like. So super versatile, really cool. And the last stamp and die set is from Concord and Ninth. This is an awesome birthday set. So there's a cover plate die. You can see there's some balloons here. We can make a cupcake, party hat. There are a lot of sentiments that go with this. There's a stencil to help you color in the frosting on your cupcake, as well as some lines for your cupcake wrapper, and then some designs for the party hat. Oh, and there's a couple of little leafy accents as well. So many possibilities with this Concord and Ninth set. Now we're moving on to the die sets. We've got a ton of butterflies from Crafter's Companion, and these are so beautiful and detailed. Love these. If you like butterflies, there's more butterflies. These ones are from Pink and Main, and we've got some paper piecing styles here. So there are really 3 different butterflies. You could cut this one out of one color, pop out the pieces, and then glue it onto the outline here to fill those in. Or you could paper piece the little pieces back in. Lots of things you can do with this cool set. So huge variety of butterflies. We've got a great jar with some florals from My Favorite Things. This is a beautiful little stamp set. Tons of detail in these dies. We have 3 sets from Spellbinders. These ones, the way that Kim Kesty brought them together in her class, it really blew me away. We've got a string with a bow. We've got some tools here, magnifying glass, scissors, and a pencil, and some florals. So we've got the thistle and some well, we debated, is it baby's breath? Is it Queen Anne's lace? What is it? And then there's also a cute little washi die in here, which I thought was so much fun to use. Lots of dies from Spellbinders, lots of dies from Honeybee. I do have to open this one up to show you. We made a Hoosier cabinet. So you can see in this picture here what it looks like all together, but there's tons of little pieces that you can create. We've got a mixer and a piping bag and a rolling pin and just so many things. So you can create this A2 sized cabinet and fill it with everything that you like, or you can use it separate, which is really cool. So tons of dies in here from Honeybee. We got a few sentiment dies. We've got Be Merry from Lawn Fawn, super cute. Hugs from LDRS with a shadow, very cute. And some dies from Pink and Main. So this set has grateful, thankful, thank you, and thanks. Tons of dies in this box. And for supplies that are reusable over and over and over again, the last thing that I have for you are the embossing folders. So we've got the Romantic Floral from LDRS, Tufted Petals from LDRS. These are both 3D embossing folders. And a big one from Spellbinders, also 3D. You can see the design a little bit better on the artwork here. Whew, but we are not even close to done. So next I want to show you some of the consumable things that were included. We have 4 inks from Concord and Ninth. These are 4 of their new colors from this year. We've got 4 of the Duet ink pads from Crafter's Companion, and these are the ones when you add water, they bloom. They call it color blooming, and basically there's a pigment ink and a dye ink in here, and then the pigment is reactive with water and it creates some really, really cool effects. So 8 little ink pads, full-size ink pad from Brutus Monroe. This one has red, orange, and yellow in it. And then we got a bunch of pastes. So 2 from Ranger from Simon Hurley. So these are both Astro pastes. They're full of glitter. We've got Clear Skies and Frostbite, so blue and white. 3 paper glazes from Picket Fence. Yellow Primrose, Twinkle Lights Clear. This one is glittery, and a Huckleberry Blue. So lots of consumable things here and some embellishments. Some bumpy pearls from Stamps of Life, huge bag of sequins from Pink and Main. We've got some sequins here from Picket Fence. There's a variety in here as well. Some embellishments from Spellbinders, embellishments from Pink and Main. We had 1 full panel shaker panel left over, and there were some rub-ons from Brutus Monroe that I didn't end up using. He did use these in his class, but I used the stamp, so I still have a few of those left. We did get 4 markers from Olo, and it looks like 2, but there's 4 because there's a full tank of ink in just half of a marker's length. So this is actually 4 markers. Decorative or stamping block, 6 blending brushes, detail scissors from Spellbinders, and the Secret Weapon stamping foam from Stamps of Life. So a bunch of tools. Now I made over 50 cards in the last 4 days. And I want to show you how much paper I have left. So first of all, for the patterned paper, this woodland paper from scrapbook.com is so cute. I am obsessed. There's a ton of that left. We've got paper in here from Stamps of Life, Pink and Main, MFT. There's a lot of plaids in here, actually, a lot of different plaids, but these are all 6x6 papers that were left. Holographic paper from scrapbook.com. There's a ton of this left. So much to use on future projects. Well, I've got all of my paper scraps organized and ready to go into my organizational system. There's some pre-printed panels in here from Picket Fence. These are all pattern paper scraps, tons of those. And then colored cardstock, tons of this, including a lot of white panels and some black panels. Watercolor paper, still a bunch of that. And then these are my colored cardstock scraps. So I always put my specialty papers in one organizer, and then the other colors go in rainbow order into my bag, which I'll show that in a future video. But so much paper scraps. And now I will admit, I used a lot of white paper from, this is acetate, a lot of white paper from my stash for the card bases, because the paper that we got in the box is so nice. I didn't want to use it for card bases. I have a cheaper card base that I can use that's heavyweight and it's great. It's just not great for blending. So I use that for the card bases. So I still have a lot of that heavyweight paper left. There's more acetate in here. I've got some more nice black paper, and then this is their 80-pound. Oh, and I have more watercolor paper. I did use some watercolor paper from my stash. So I have tons of paper left over. And the last thing I want to show you that I have left over is all of the things that I've started and will hopefully make my way back to in the future. So I was playing around with mixing and matching some products. This is that Color Bloom ink with the Spellbinders embossing folder. I'm watercoloring. I've got extra backgrounds, just playing around. So I've got tons of things started here. We did a lot of extra watercoloring in the Crafter's Companion class, and just some other things that are started here. And besides all the card bases that I started and the backgrounds, I've also got a bunch of extra die cuts and things that I colored and cut out, things that are stamped but not colored or cut out. So many butterflies. Oh my gosh, I love these watercolored butterflies. This is the one from Pink and Maine, and I am doing it double-sided so that it can be an ornament. Love that black glitter paper with this. I have a bunch of sentiments that are cut out and just some random other pieces that could be used on a card. I did create a couple of YouTube shorts to show all of the cards that I made, and if you're interested in just getting a quick glance at those, they're about 45 seconds each, and it's just a photo of each card for a couple of seconds, and then it moves on to the next one. So if you want to see the cards that I made, but you want to see them quicker than me going through them here, please feel free to watch those shorts. All right, so Pink and Maine is up first. We've got shaker card. Her original design was a shaker for this, but I just didn't want to fuss with it, so mine is flat. This is a full panel shaker, and I have another one of those full panel shakers left to do another card. From scrapbook.com, we've got some interactive cards here with those adorable die cuts. So that pop-up feature, that die was included in their set. This is a fun panel card. This is my favorite of the three. So when you open this one up, you've got this box dimension. Our bear is floating in there. Super cute. That was the first two classes. Then Tailored Expressions. This was a layering stencil with a die set. Really quick and easy to pull these cards together. This one is a shaker. Now I did take some creative liberties when I made some of my cards, and this is not the design that Taylor showed for us. I made some changes there, but I'm just showing you what I did end up making and not talking too much about the choices. Next up was Lawn Fawn with Jen Shirkus. The mice are cute, the strings of lights are cute, the glitter's cute, everything about this is cute. I loved the ink blending that we did to get the rainbow here. One more Be Merry card, and you might have seen I have a couple more of these mice colored and cut out and ready to go, so hopefully they'll make it onto a card soon. So that was day one. It was day 1 of 4. Then on day 2 in the morning, we got a quick little demo class from Olo and Angie Blum Designs, and I turned that into a card. Then Crafter's Companion. This was all watercoloring with those color blooming inks. Love these butterflies. This card is so beautiful. Sarah Davies, she created some really great designs for us. There are my 3 cards for Crafter's Companion. Then Spellbinders, heavy on the dies. Also loving the embossing folder that they included. Beautiful florals. Adore this washi tape. So cute. This card was really simple to make, but it has such a great wow factor. And then I'm pretty sure this is my favorite card from the whole event. I really, really like the way that this trifold comes together with that string and the bow and all of the included pieces. So cool. And Kim Kesty did say that these dies are going to be coming out in the spring. So if you weren't at the event and you're thinking, you need these, spring Spellbinders. The next cards are from LDRS. So we did a rainbow blended background here and used a 3D embossing folder. I did add some butterflies to both of these from the Crafter's Companion class. I also used the Color Bloom inks for my background here. I used some gilding paste to create these silver flowers over an embossing folder. Now in class, we watercolored and then we used a black marker around, but I really wasn't happy with the results. So I actually fussy cut out my flowers and I put them onto a navy cardstock. The last class of day 2 was with Simon Hurley for Ranger. And we did the cutest penguins and all that glitter astro paste. So cute. Loved the fun blending on this. I adore these penguins. So much fun. That's day 2. Get us some space. On day 3, we started with Gina K Designs, and Gina has such a beautiful style. I mean, you can just see a card and know Gina K designed that. I love these. You can see here in my background, I had cut apart that big patterned background stamp and I used the sections separately. So this was the canvas section and this was the stripy section, and I just used them separately. I really liked the effect that I got on those really lovely cards to start the day. There was a schedule change, so we worked with MFT with Libby Hickson next and made some sympathy cards. These are really beautiful. Love these detailed dies. This is a belly band with a fun fold here. Really neat design. Did some ink blending. I really liked the black florals. I don't think I've ever done that on a card before. And this one actually just opens up right here in the front. Then we had our Stamps of Life class, and actually I should show you this one first. This is that stand-up card. So it pops up like this. Really cool. And we have the ability to make this any way that we want it. Love that. Really, really cool. And then if you take 2 of those and combine them together, you get a gatefold card. Lots of fun there. Really easy to bring that together. And then one more. And Stephanie had us masking, but I just used die cuts and I just layered them together. I was starting to run out of energy by this point. Oh, The next class, just the last full class of the day, but we did end up doing a little bit more with Megan. These are from the Brutus Monroe class, and it was a beautiful class. It was great techniques, very moving, very beautiful, absolutely lovely way to finish out the day's full classes. But then there was more, so we did some Altenew cards. There was a third one. I never got around to making that one. I actually finished these the next morning. It was a long day, but this one is watercolored, and this one is using the Olo markers, and then I just used some dies from the other sets. This one is from Scrapbook.com, and this one was from Pink and Maine. And then the other difference in these cards is that this one was silver heat embossing and this one was gold, and that's how I chose which sentiment to put on each of those. So that wraps up day 3. Running out of space for all these cards. I had them all neat and organized, and now they're just in piles everywhere. All right, day 4, this is the last day. We started out with Kathy Zilski for Concord and Ninth. I made 2 of these cards, happy birthday, a congratulations card, and I really love the dimension on this birthday card. So much fun. These were really easy to pull together. Fun class, great products. Definitely need to make more birthday cards. Then Picket Fence Studio, we did some mixed media. They had pre-printed the girl and her easel. We just had to die cut those out, and then the background panels were also pre-printed for us. So we really focused in the class on things like heat embossing and texture and paste and using a stencil and just a bunch of different things. So lots of fun in the Picket Fence class. And then we moved on to Honeybee, and this class was all about the die cuts. So this was really actually an easy card to pull together because these pieces were all cut out of colored cardstock and then just glued onto a patterned paper. Baking Spirit Sprite was part of the paper. We didn't even have to do that. Just got to glue on our die cuts. I used a couple of foam pieces to give it a little bit of dimension, but so much fun. And then we created a kitchen counter or kitchen shelf. I made mine red instead of pink because my kitchen is actually red, and loved putting all of the details on those tiny die cuts. And then the whole enchilada, the whole Hoosier cabinet. This card is just, I mean, the wow factor of how many pieces this is. It's extraordinary. It was so much fun to put that together. I definitely want to do a couple more of these. Maybe not a lot of them because it's a lot of pieces, it's a lot of die cutting, it's a lot of work, but I definitely want to do more. And that brings us to the very last class of the very last day. This was Hero Arts, and I loved it so much. I loved the techniques that we did, and I loved the results that we got. So we have these really cool multi-colored leaves that have texture and all sorts of fun things going on. I love that they're cut out of here, and then those cutouts were used on this card and on this card. And this card is actually using the rest of the panel that we blended for this one. So we created a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 background, and then we used part of it here and the other part of it here. And then we took the cutouts from this card and put those on there. So lots of 2-for-1 in this class, and I really loved the techniques that we did. And I loved it so much I actually did one more. This one was a little bit different because I did not ink blend before I did my ink capturing, ink saving. Well, there was nothing to save because it was white underneath, but I still loved the way that that came out with all of the blending and the stenciling, and it just, so much fun. And so now the question is, would I do it again? Well, this is the 4th time that I have done a crop and create delivered. And I usually just do the October events. Actually, this year they only did an October card making event. And I don't scrapbook anymore, so I'm really not interested in the scrapbooking classes. But next year they're going back to 2 events, and the registration opens on October 1st, which at the time of the recording of this video is tomorrow. And I really have to decide, am I going to do the next event? I'm just kind of thinking out loud here. I love it. I love everything about it. The classes are so much fun. I get to do techniques and use products that I wouldn't normally in my crafting. I love the community aspect of it. The value is fantastic. So you might be asking, well, why am I even considering it? And the truth is, I have a lot of stuff in my craft room, and I'm not very good at destashing. So do I need another box of stuff that has that many stamps and stencils and dies? And I went through everything with you in this video. It was a lot of stuff. Do I really need it? Let me know in the comments, and you'll find out soon if I'm signed up, because I'm sure I'll be creating another video to share with you what we do if I do it. Hope you have a wonderful day. Go use your stuff and go make something beautiful.